The bar was old and dirty. It sat at the edge of Station 12, far from the clean halls where rich travelers walked. Here, only the broken ones came, the ones who had nowhere else to go. Ryla pushed open the heavy door and stepped inside. The smell of smoke and old drinks filled her nose. Her ears, tall and covered in soft gray fur, pressed flat against her head. She did not like this place, but she had no other place to be. She was a Mira'an. Her people looked like the cats that humans kept as pets, but they walked on two legs and stood as tall as any human. Their fur came in many colors. Ryla's was gray like storm clouds, with darker stripes along her arms and face. Her eyes were large and golden, built to see in the dark. The Mira'an were proud. They believed they were better than other species. They called humans weak and emotional. They called them foolish for caring so much about each other. The Mira'an did not understand love the way humans did. To them, survival mattered more than feelings. But Ryla was different. She had always been different. She walked to the bar and sat on a tall chair. The bartender, a large alien with 4 arms and blue skin, looked at her with tired eyes. "What do you want?" he asked. "Anything strong," Ryla said. Her voice was soft and low. The bartender poured a dark liquid into a glass and pushed it toward her. Ryla paid with the last of her credits and took a long drink. The liquid burned her throat, but she did not care. She wanted to feel something other than the emptiness inside her. It had been 3 years since her people sent her away. 3 years since they called her a traitor and took everything from her. Her home, her name, her honor, all because she saved a human child. She still remembered that day. She had been a soldier then, serving on a Mira'an warship. They had attacked a human cargo vessel to steal supplies. It was supposed to be a simple raid, no killing, just take what they needed and leave. But something went wrong. A fire started in the human ship. The Mira'an soldiers grabbed what they could and ran back to their own vessel. No one cared about the humans trapped inside. No one, except Ryla. She heard the crying. A small voice, filled with fear. She followed the sound and found a human child hiding under a broken table. A little girl, maybe 5 years old, with tears running down her face. Ryla should have left her there. That was what her training told her to do. Humans were not her concern. But when she looked into those frightened eyes, she could not walk away. She picked up the child and carried her through the smoke and fire. She brought her to the human escape pods and made sure she got away safely. Then she returned to her own ship. Her captain was waiting for her. "You saved a human," he said. His voice was cold like ice. "She was just a child," Ryla replied. "She would have died. And why should we care?" Ryla had no answer. At least, not one her captain would understand. They sent her home in chains. The Mira'an High Council called her weak. They said she had been infected by human emotions. They said she was no longer one of them. They took her rank. They took her family name. They marked her forehead with a small scar, the sign of an outcast. Then they put her on a ship and sent her away. She could never return home. For 3 years, Ryla wandered from station to station. She took small jobs when she could find them. She slept in cheap rooms and ate whatever food she could afford. She spoke to no one. She trusted no one. She was alone in a galaxy that did not want her. The bar was almost empty tonight. A few other aliens sat in dark corners, drinking by themselves. No one looked at Ryla. No one cared that she was there. She liked it that way. Being invisible was easier than being hated. She finished her drink and asked for another. The bartender poured it without a word. Ryla stared at the glass, watching the dark liquid swirl inside. She thought about her mother, a strict woman who never smiled. She thought about her father, a soldier who taught her to fight before she could read. She thought about her sisters, who had probably forgotten she existed. Did they ever think about her? Did they wonder where she was, or if she was alive? Probably not. To them, she was already dead. Ryla took another drink. The burning feeling was getting weaker now. Her body was getting used to the poison. Just like it had gotten used to the loneliness, the door of the bar opened. Rila did not look up. She did not care who came or went. Nothing mattered anymore. But then she heard a sound that made her ears stand up. It was the sound of a small voice, a child's voice. "Hello? Is anyone here?" Rila turned her head slowly. Standing in the doorway was a little human girl. She looked about 6 or 7 years old. She had long black hair tied in 2 braids, and she wore a simple brown dress that was too big for her. Her face was red from crying, and her eyes were full of fear. She looked lost, completely and totally lost. The bartender frowned. "Hey kid, this is no place for children. Where are your parents?" The girl did not answer. She just stood there, looking around the room with wide eyes. She was searching for someone. Someone who was not there. Rila felt something move inside her chest. A feeling she had not felt in a long time. It was soft and warm, like a small fire trying to start. She tried to ignore it. This was not her problem. She had enough troubles of her own. She did not need to add a lost human child to the list. But the girl's eyes found hers. Those big, dark eyes looked right at her. And for a moment, Rila saw herself. A lost soul with nowhere to go. The girl took a small step toward her. Rila looked away quickly. She raised her glass and took another drink. She told herself to mind her own business. She told herself to stay quiet and invisible. But she could feel those eyes still watching her. Waiting for something. Hoping for something. And deep inside, in a place she had tried to bury long ago, Rila felt hope too. The little girl stood in the middle of the bar. She looked so small and fragile, like a flower in a storm. Her braids had come loose, and strands of black hair stuck to her wet cheeks. She had been crying for a long time. The bartender crossed his forearms. I said, "Where are your parents, kid?" The girl shook her head. "I cannot find my daddy. He told me to wait, but I waited and waited, and he did not come back." "Well, you cannot stay here. This is a bar, not a daycare." The girl's lower lip trembled. More tears started to fall from her eyes. She looked around the room, hoping someone would help her. But the other customers looked away. They did not want trouble. They did not want to get involved. Only Rila kept watching. She told herself to stop. She told herself this was not her business. She had learned her lesson 3 years ago. Helping humans only brought pain. Helping anyone only brought pain. But the girl was so small, so scared, so alone. Just like Rila, the girl noticed Rila looking at her. Something in her face changed. The fear did not go away, but a tiny spark of curiosity appeared in her eyes. She had probably never seen a Miran before. Most humans had not. Slowly, the girl walked toward Rila. Her small shoes made soft sounds on the dirty floor. She stopped a few feet away, looking up at the tall alien with wonder. "Are you a cat?" the girl asked. Rila blinked. Of all the questions she expected, that was not one of them. "No," she said. "I am a Miran." "What is a Miran?" "We are, like cats, but not cats." The girl tilted her head, just like a curious puppy. "You look soft, like my cat at home." Her name was Nabi. She died last year. Rila did not know what to say. She was not good with words. She was even worse with children. "I am sorry about your cat," she finally said. The girl nodded sadly. "It is okay. Daddy said Nabi went to a happy place." "Do you think that is true?" "I do not know. I hope it is true. I miss her a lot." The bartender walked over with an annoyed look on his face. "Look, kid, you really need to leave. This is no place for—" "I will watch her," Rila said suddenly. The words came out before she could stop them. She did not know why she said them. Her brain was screaming at her to stay quiet. But her mouth had other plans. The bartender raised what looked like an eyebrow. "You? You want to watch a human kid?" "Just until her father comes. She should not be wandering around alone." The bartender shrugged. He did not care enough to argue. "Fine. Your problem now." He walked away, and Rila was left alone with the girl. They stared at each other in silence. The girl did not seem scared of Rila at all. In fact, she seemed fascinated. "Can I sit with you?" the girl asked. Rila hesitated. Then she nodded. The girl climbed onto the chair next to Rila. Her feet dangled high above the floor. She looked at Ryla's drink with curious eyes. "What is that?" she asked. "Something you should not drink until you are much older." "Is it yucky?" "Very yucky." The girl made a face. "Then why do you drink it?" Rila paused. "That was a good question. A very good question. Because sometimes grown-ups do silly things," she said. "My daddy says that too." The girl smiled a little. It was the first time she had smiled since she entered the bar. "My name is Bora. What is your name?" "Rila." "Rila," Bora repeated, testing the word. "I like that name. It sounds pretty." No one had ever called her name pretty before. Rila did not know how to respond. She just nodded. "Where is your father?" Rila asked. "Why are you alone?" Rila asked. Bora's smile faded. "Daddy is a pilot. He flies cargo ships. He brought me to the station because I did not want to stay with the neighbor lady. She smells like old soup." Despite herself, Rila felt the corner of her mouth twitch. Almost a smile. Almost. "Daddy said he had to talk to some people about work," Bora continued. "He told me to wait in the food hall. He said he would come back soon. But then I saw a pretty bird outside the window, and I followed it. And then I got lost. And then I could not find the food hall. And then I walked and walked. And now I do not know where I am." She said all of this in one breath, the way only children could. By the end, her eyes were wet again. "I want my daddy," she whispered. Rila felt something crack inside her chest. A wall she had built long ago, made of ice and stone, started to break. "We will find your father," she said. "What is his name?" "Tay." "His name is Tay. And your last name?" Bora thought hard. "Everybody just calls me Bora." Rila sighed. "That would make things harder. There were probably many men named Tay on this station. What does your father look like?" "He is tall. Taller than you. He has black hair. Like mine. And he has a scar on his hand from when a box fell on him. And he always wears his brown jacket, the one with the patches on the arms." Rila nodded. That was better. She could work with that. "Stay here," she said. "I will ask the bartender if anyone has seen him." She started to stand, but Bora grabbed her arm. The touch was light. Barely there. But Rila froze like she had been hit by lightning. "Please do not leave me," Bora said. Her voice was small and scared. "I do not want to be alone." Rila looked down at the child. Those big dark eyes were filled with trust. Complete and total trust. Given to a stranger she had just met. Given to an alien her own kind might fear. Humans were strange creatures. They trusted so easily. They loved so freely. They gave their hearts to anyone who showed them kindness. It was beautiful. And it was dangerous. Rila slowly sat back down. "Okay. I will not leave you." Bora's grip on her arm relaxed. But she did not let go completely. Her small fingers rested on Ryla's fur, stroking it gently. "You are very soft," Bora said. "Softer than Nabi." "Thank you, I think." They sat together in silence for a while. The bar was quiet. The other customers had left, one by one, until only Rila and Bora remained. Even the bartender had gone to the back room, leaving them alone. "Rila?" Bora said. "Yes? Are you sad?" The question caught Rila off guard. "Why do you ask?" "Because you look sad. Your eyes look like my daddy's eyes when he thinks about mommy." Ryla's heart tightened. "Where is your mother?" Bora looked down at her feet. "She went to the happy place. Like Nabi. 2 years ago. I am sorry. It is okay. I still have daddy. And now I have you." "I have you." Rila wanted to tell her that was not true. She wanted to say she was just a stranger. Someone who would disappear as soon as Bora's father arrived. She wanted to protect herself from getting attached. But she could not say any of those things. Instead, She just sat there, letting a little human girl hold her arm. And for the first time in 3 years, Ryla did not feel completely alone. An hour passed. Then 2. The station outside grew quiet as night cycle began. The lights in the bar dimmed, and the shadows grew longer. Bora had fallen asleep against Ryla's arm. Her small body rose and fell with each breath. Her face was peaceful now, no longer filled with fear. She trusted Ryla to keep her safe. Ryla did not move. She was afraid that even a small shift would wake the child. So she sat perfectly still, watching over Bora, like a guard watching over treasure. She tried to remember the last time anyone had trusted her like this. The last time anyone had depended on her. She could not think of a single moment. Her own family had never been warm. The Miran did not believe in soft feelings. Parents trained their children to be strong. They did not hug them or tell them they were loved. Love was weakness. Feelings were weakness. But watching Bora sleep, Ryla wondered if her people were wrong. Maybe feelings were not weakness. Maybe they were strength. Maybe it took more courage to love someone than to push them away. She shook her head. Those were dangerous thoughts. Thoughts that had gotten her exiled in the first place, but she could not stop them from coming. The door of the bar creaked open. Ryla's ears shot up, alert. But it was just the bartender, coming back with a mop in one of his 4 hands. "Still here?" he asked, looking at Ryla and the sleeping child. "Her father has not come yet," the bartender grunted. "Maybe he is not coming. Some fathers are like that." Ryla felt anger rise in her chest. "He will come. How do you know?" "You just met her." 1. Because she believes he will come, and that is enough. The bartender stared at her for a long moment. Then he shrugged and started mopping the floor. He did not understand. How could he? He did not know what it felt like to be a lost child, waiting for someone to save you. But Ryla knew. She had waited her whole life for someone to save her. No one ever came. Maybe that was why she could not leave Bora. Maybe she was trying to be the person she had always wished for. Bora stirred in her sleep. Her eyes fluttered open slowly. She looked confused at first, not remembering where she was. Then she saw Ryla's face and relaxed. "You are still here," she said, her voice thick with sleep. "I told you I would not leave." Bora smiled and rubbed her eyes. "I had a dream about Mommy." Ryla's heart ached. "What kind of dream?" "A nice one. She was singing to me. She used to sing to me every night before bed. She had a beautiful voice." "What happened to her?" "If you do not mind me asking." Bora's smile faded a little. "She got sick. The doctors tried to help, but the sickness was too strong. Daddy said she fought very hard. But in the end, she had to go to sleep forever. That must have been very hard for you." "It was. I cried a lot. Daddy cried too, even though he tried to hide it." Bora looked up at Ryla. "Do you have a mommy?" The question was simple, but it hit Ryla like a punch. Yes. I have a mother." "Is she nice?" Ryla thought about her mother. Her cold eyes, her harsh words, the way she never hugged Ryla, not even once. "She was strict," Ryla said carefully. "My mommy was nice. She gave the best hugs. She smelled like flowers and warm bread." Bora's eyes grew distant, lost in memory. "I miss her hugs the most." Ryla did not know what to say. She had never been hugged by her mother. She did not know what she was missing. "Ryla?" Bora said. "Yes? Can I ask you something?" "Of course." Bora was quiet for a moment. She seemed to be gathering courage for something. Her small hands twisted the fabric of her dress nervously. "My mommy is gone," she finally said. "And I love my daddy very much. But sometimes, I wish I had a mommy again. Someone to hug me and sing to me and tell me everything will be okay." Ryla's chest tightened. She knew where this was going, and she was terrified. "Bora, can you be my new mommy?" The words hung in the air like stars. Simple words, small words, but they carried the weight of an entire universe. Ryla could not breathe. Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. No one had ever wanted her. Not her family. Not her people. Not anyone in the galaxy. But this little human girl, this child she had just met, was looking at her with hope in her eyes. Real hope, the kind of hope that could break or heal a heart. Bora, Rila's voice cracked. I cannot. Why not? Bora asked. There was no accusation in her voice, just honest curiosity. Because I am not human. Because your father does not know me. Because I am an outcast. With nothing to offer. What is an outcast? Someone who was sent away, someone nobody wants. Bora frowned. But I want you. Those 4 words broke something inside Rila. The wall she had built around her heart, the one made of 3 years of loneliness and pain, crumbled into dust. Tears filled her eyes. She had not cried since the day she was exiled. Miran did not cry. It was considered shameful. But right now, she did not care about Miran rules. A tear rolled down her cheek, leaving a wet trail in her gray fur. Bora reached up with her small hand and wiped the tear away. Why are you crying? Did I say something wrong? No, Rila whispered. You said something very right. So you will be my mommy? Rila took a shaky breath. That is not my choice to make. Your father. He might not want an alien in your life. He might not trust me. And he would be right not to trust me. I am a stranger. But you are nice. You stayed with me when everyone else went away. That makes you not a stranger anymore. Such simple logic. Such pure faith. Rila did not know whether to laugh or cry more. Even if your father says no. Rila said slowly. I will remember you. You have given me a gift tonight. What gift? You made me feel wanted. For the first time in a very long time. Bora smiled wide, showing all her small white teeth. See? That means we are already family. Family. The word echoed in Rila's mind. She had given up on ever having a family again. She had accepted that she would die alone. Forgotten by the galaxy, but maybe she was wrong. Maybe family was not about blood or species. Maybe it was about the people who stayed when everyone else left. The door of the bar burst open. A tall man rushed in, his face wild with panic. He had black hair and wore a brown jacket with patches on the arms. There was a scar on his right hand. Bora, he shouted. Bora, are you here? Bora's face lit up like a sun. Daddy. She jumped off the chair and ran to him. He scooped her up in his arms and held her tight, burying his face in her hair. His whole body was shaking. I am so sorry, he said, his voice breaking. I am so sorry. The meeting took longer than I thought. And when I came back, you were gone. And I looked everywhere. And I thought I lost you. And, it is okay, Daddy, Bora said, patting his back. The nice cat lady took care of me. The man looked up. His eyes, wet with tears, found Rila still sitting at the bar. And in that moment, everything changed. Tay stared at Rila. His arms were still wrapped around Bora, holding her like she might disappear if he let go. His eyes were red from crying, and his face was covered in sweat. He had clearly been running for a long time. Rila stood up slowly. She did not know what to expect. Fear? Anger? Suspicion? Humans often feared what they did not understand. And most humans did not understand the Miran. You, Tay said. His voice was rough from emotion. You watched my daughter? Rila nodded. She came into the bar alone. She was scared and lost. I could not leave her. Tay was quiet for a moment. He looked at Bora, then back at Rila. His expression was hard to read. Why? He asked finally. Why would a Miran help a human child? It was a fair question. The Miran and humans were not enemies, but they were not friends either. Most Miran looked down on humans. Most humans stayed away from Miran, because she needed help, Rila said simply. Does there need to be another reason? Tay stared at her. Something in his face shifted. The suspicion did not disappear completely, but a new emotion joined it. Something that looked almost like respect. Daddy, Daddy. Bora tugged at his jacket. Can she come with us? Please? She is really nice, and she is soft. And she said she was lonely. And... Bora, slow down. Tay knelt, so he was at her level. What do you mean? Come with us. I asked her to be my new mommy. Tay froze. His face went pale. He looked up at Ryla with wide eyes. She asked you what? Ryla felt her cheeks grow warm under her fur. She is just a child. She does not understand what she is saying. I do understand. Bora protested. I want her to be my mommy. She took care of me. And she made me feel safe. And she has soft fur and pretty eyes. Bora. Tay's voice was gentle but strained. It is not that simple. You cannot just ask strangers to be your mother. But she is not a stranger. She is Ryla. She stayed with me for hours and hours. She did not leave. Even when everyone else did. Tay looked at Ryla again. There was pain in his eyes. Old pain, the kind that never fully healed. My wife died 2 years ago, he said quietly. Bora has been asking for a new mother ever since. Not because she forgot her mom, but because she misses being taken care of. I try my best. But I am just one person, and I am not always. I am not always enough. You are a good father, Ryla said. She loves you very much. How do you know? Because she talks about you with stars in her eyes. Because she was lost and scared. But she kept saying that her daddy would come. She never doubted you. Tay's eyes grew wet again. He pulled Bora close and kissed the top of her head. I am sorry, he whispered to her. I am so sorry I was not there. It is okay, Daddy. Ryla was there. Ryla watched them embrace. She felt like she was intruding on something private, something sacred. She started to step back toward the door. Wait. Tay's voice stopped her. Where are you going? He asked. I should leave. You have found your daughter. My job is done. Your job? Tay shook his head. You watched my daughter for hours. You kept her safe in a place like this. That is not a job. That is... I do not even know what to call it. I was just doing what anyone would do. No. Tay stood up, still holding Bora in his arms. That is not true. I saw the other people in this bar when I came in. None of them cared. None of them would have helped, but you did. Ryla did not know what to say. She was not used to praise. She was not used to anyone caring about what she did. You are a Miran. Tay continued. Your people. They have a reputation. They say Miran do not help others. They say Miran only care about themselves. That is true. Most of my people are like that, but not you. Ryla looked down at her feet. That is why I am no longer one of them. Tay tilted his head. What do you mean? For a moment, Ryla considered lying. Telling him some simple story and walking away. It would be easier. Safer. She could disappear into the station and never see them again. But Bora was looking at her with those big, trusting eyes. And somehow, Ryla could not lie. I was exiled, she said. 3 years ago. Because I saved a human child from a fire. My people called me weak. They said I was not worthy of being Miran. So they took everything from me and sent me away. The bar was silent. Tay stared at her with an expression she could not read. Bora's mouth had fallen open. You saved a kid? Bora asked. Like a hero? I am not a hero. I just did what felt right. That is what heroes do, Bora said firmly. Daddy, she is a hero. We have to keep her. Tay was still staring at Ryla, but his expression had changed. The suspicion was gone now, replaced by something warmer. You have nowhere to go, he said. It was not a question. I have been wandering for 3 years. I take small jobs when I can find them. I survive. That is not living. That is just surviving. Ryla shrugged. It is enough. No, it is not. Tay shifted Bora to one arm and reached into his pocket. He pulled out a small card and held it out to Ryla. This is my ship, the Hana, named after my wife. I do cargo runs across 3 systems. It is not glamorous work, but it pays well enough. Ryla looked at the card but did not take it. I do not understand. I need a crew member. Someone to help with the ship. Someone to help with Bora when I am busy. He paused. Someone who actually cares. You are offering me a job? I am offering you a home. The words hit Ryla like a wave. A home. She had not had a home in 3 years. She had not had a home since she was a child, if she was being honest. You do not know me, she said. How can you trust me? Tay smiled for the first time. It was a tired smile. The smile of a man who had been through too much. But it was real. My daughter is an excellent judge of character, he said. If she trusts you, that is good enough for me. Please say yes, Bora added, giving Ryla her best puppy eyes. Please, please, please. Ryla looked at them. A broken man and his hopeful daughter. They had nothing to offer her except a cramped ship and uncertain work. They had every reason to walk away and forget about her. But they were not walking away. They were reaching out. They were offering her something she had stopped believing in. A second chance. Ryla's voice caught in her throat. I do not know what to say. Say yes, Bora said. It is really easy. Just 2 letters. Y and E and S. That is 3 letters, Ryla pointed out. Close enough. Tay laughed. It was a warm sound, full of life. She has been doing that since she learned to spell. Gets it wrong every time, but never admits it. Ryla felt her mouth curve into a smile. A real smile. Not the fake ones she had worn for so long. Okay, she said. Yes, I will come with you. Bora cheered so loud that the bartender came rushing out from the back room. What is happening? Is someone dying? No, Tay said, his eyes still on Ryla. Someone is starting to live again. 6 months later, Ryla stood in the kitchen of the Hana, making breakfast. The ship was small but cozy, with just enough room for 3 people. The walls were covered with pictures that Bora had drawn, colorful scenes of stars and planets and aliens that looked nothing like real aliens. One of the newest drawings showed 3 figures holding hands. A tall man with black hair, a small girl with braids, and a gray cat person with stripes. Underneath, in messy handwriting, Bora had written, My family. Ryla looked at that picture every morning. It still made her heart feel warm. Something smells good. Bora came running into the kitchen, her hair wild from sleep. She had grown taller in the past 6 months. Her face had changed too, becoming less round and more like her father's, but her eyes were the same, big and dark and full of endless hope. Sit down, Ryla said. Breakfast is almost ready. Bora climbed into her chair and watched Ryla work. Are we making a delivery today? Yes, to Station 7. We should arrive by afternoon. Will there be other kids there? I want to play. I am sure there will be. Tay walked in, stretching his arms above his head. He had dark circles under his eyes. He had stayed up late last night, fixing a problem with the engine. But he smiled when he saw Ryla and Bora together. Morning, he said. Good morning. Ryla set a plate of food in front of him. You should have slept more. Could not. Too much work. He took a bite and closed his eyes with pleasure. This is delicious. Where did you learn to cook? I taught myself. After I was exiled, I had to learn many things. Bora was already eating, her cheeks stuffed like a squirrel. Ryla makes the best food. Better than the food hall. Better than anyone. That might be a little exaggerated, Ryla said. No, it is not, Bora insisted. You are the best cook in the whole galaxy. Ryla smiled and sat down to eat with them. This had become their routine over the past 6 months. Every morning, they ate breakfast together as a family. Every evening, they ate dinner together as a family. In between, they worked and played and lived together as a family. It still felt strange to Ryla, Strange but wonderful. After breakfast, Tay went to the cockpit to prepare for the jump to Station 7. Bora helped Rila clean the dishes. Or rather, she tried to help. She was not very good at it yet. Rila, Bora said. Yes? Do you miss your old home, the one with the other cat people? Rila thought about the question. She thought about her home world, with its tall mountains and purple skies. She thought about her family, cold and distant. She thought about the life she used to have, before everything changed. Sometimes, she admitted, I miss the beauty of my planet. I miss knowing where I belonged. But I do not miss the way my people treated each other. I do not miss the coldness. Were they mean to you? They were not mean exactly. They just did not show love. My people believe that emotions make you weak. So they hide their feelings and pretend they do not care. Bora frowned. That sounds sad. It is. I did not realize how sad it was until I left. Until I met humans. What is different about humans? Rila looked at Bora, this little girl who had changed everything. Humans love openly. They are not afraid to show how they feel. They hug each other and say kind words and take care of each other. At first, I thought it was strange. I thought it was dangerous. But now I understand. Understand what? That loving someone is not weakness. It is the bravest thing you can do. Bora smiled wide. I love you, Rila. Those 3 words, so simple, so powerful. Rila had heard them many times over the past 6 months, but they still made her heart swell. I love you too, little one. The ship hummed as Tay started the engine. A few minutes later, they jumped into hyperspace. The stars outside the window became long lines of light. Rila went to the cockpit and sat in the co-pilot seat next to Tay. He was focused on the controls, but he glanced at her with a smile. She is getting better, he said. At what? At being happy. When her mother died, she smiled less and less. I was worried she would forget how, but since you came. He shook his head. She is like a different child. She was always this way inside. She just needed someone to bring it out. No, she needed you. Specifically, you. Rila felt her cheeks grow warm. Even after 6 months, she was not used to compliments. I am grateful, she said quietly. For this chance. For you and Bora. I never thought I would have a family again. The risn't. 4 and hard. 4 and hard, 4 and hard. Tay reached over and put his hand on hers. It was a gentle touch, warm and kind. You do have a family now, and we are not going anywhere. They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the stars streak by. Rila thought about her journey. The exile. The loneliness. The years of wandering with no purpose. It had all been so painful, but it had led her here, to this small ship with these wonderful people. Maybe everything happened for a reason, or maybe it was just luck. Either way, she was grateful. Rila, Daddy, come quick. Bora's voice came from the common room. They both jumped up and ran to see what was wrong. They found Bora standing by the communication screen, bouncing with excitement. A message was displayed on the screen. It was from Station 7. Look. Bora pointed at the screen. They want to give us a special award for being the best delivery crew. Look. Tay read the message and laughed. It is not exactly an award. They just want to thank us for always being on time. That is still special. We should celebrate. How do you want to celebrate? Ice cream. Lots and lots of ice cream. Tay looked at Rila. What do you think? Rila pretended to consider it seriously. I think ice cream is a very good idea. Bora cheered and started dancing around the room. Tay watched her with a smile so full of love that it made Rila's heart ache. Thank you, he said to Rila, his voice low so only she could hear. For what? For saying yes. That night in the bar, when I offered you a place on the ship, you could have said no. You could have walked away. But you did not. How could I walk away? Your daughter asked me to be her mother. That is not something you forget. And are you? Tay asked. Her mother, I mean? Rila watched Bora dance, her braids flying in the air. She thought about all the nights she had tucked Bora into bed, all the mornings she had made breakfast, all the tears she had wiped away, and all the hugs she had given. I am whatever she needs me to be, Rila said. If she needs a friend, I am her friend. If she needs a guardian, I am her guardian. And if she needs a mother. She paused. Then yes, I am her mother. Tay's eyes were shining. My wife would have liked you. I wish I could have met her. In a way, you have. Every time you take care of Bora, you are continuing what Hana started. You are keeping her love alive. They stood together, watching Bora celebrate. The ship carried them through the stars toward their next adventure. Outside the window, the galaxy stretched on forever, full of wonders and dangers. But inside this small ship, there was only warmth, only family, only love. The galaxy had called Rila a traitor. Her people had called her weak. But here, among humans, she was something else entirely. She was wanted, she was needed, she was home. And somewhere in the happy place, where cats named Nabi played in endless fields and mothers watched over their children, Hana smiled. Her daughter was safe. Her husband was healing. And the family she left behind had found a way to keep growing. Love, it turned out, was not weakness at all. It was the strongest force in the universe.